Welcome, everyone, to another great episode of the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Conrad here.
Dylan.
Hilton.
George.
Pablo. All right.
Okay.
Alex, man, gets me every time.
Well, he said his name 3 or 4 times. People remember.
It's not a Puff Drink Talk podcast unless we have an audio issue in the first 30 seconds.
Every time.
Well, and as Pablo, or Paul, but we like to call him Pablo, introduced himself. Paul, always a pleasure to have you here. Yep. He is eating right now. We had some phenomenal burgers that Dylan just fired up on the grill. I didn't know you were so talented on a burger joint.
Very delicious.
It's courtesy of Ballerini Floors. They supplied the... all I did was cook it. I did was cook it.
Yeah.
But I'm glad you enjoyed it. It was actually very
You're
satiating.
so humble, man.
I was very... yeah, I'm so humble. Good looking, funny.
Well, like Ballerina Floors, it was quality burgers.
Oh, I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Appreciate that. Let's light these things up and let's talk for 5 minutes here about something.
Absolutely.
So the subject today is going to be home services, right?
Home
Home
services.
services.
Home services. Because a lot of us in here are on the home services business, so we never really talked about it. So maybe a good opportunity.
Let's bring it on up. Bring it on up. Talking about it. Paul,
Yes, sir.
give us a little rundown of your business. How's everything? How you doing?
Well, Live Oak Studios here. We are a luxury outdoor living landscape company. And this microphone is apparently not working right. Can you hear me? Is that better? Gotta turn it this way.
Super production. You see, like, it took
Does that
like less
work?
than 5
Talking
seconds.
to like the,
5
like how where the
seconds.
button is.
Right there.
Yeah, just right there. You're good.
Am I good right
But
there?
if you kind of like, you get close.
Yep.
Yep, you're good.
Perfect.
Good. All right, let's start again. Live Oak Studios. We're a luxury outdoor living construction company. We offer masonry services. If you can dream about it, think about it, or not know what you really want and let us dream about it and think about it for you, we can create that for you for your outdoor living at your house, front yard, backyard, small commercial properties as well. We do, like I said, anything masonry, kitchens, patios, fire pits, fireplaces, grass plants, trees, irrigation, landscape lighting, custom metal work, bed edging, flower pots, gates, fences, patio covers. Build
You
the
name
pool. We sub out pool companies to do the pools. We build everything else around it. One thing we got going right now, we're running some specials on for the next few months. It's a big deal. Synthetic turf, putting greens, City of Austin, Pflugerville, Round Rock, all the surrounding areas. If you haven't noticed in the last year or two, it's only going to get worse as the future goes on. They're limiting the amount of water you can put down on your yards.
Really?
And so
Round Rock is always in a stage 1 effective
Stage
water
1
restriction.
Stage 1 if you're lucky.
Yeah,
We just did a job in Dripping Springs. They just got lifted out of no watering to stage 1. And they've been in no watering for 6 months.
Jeez Louise.
So where I'm going is you can synthetic turf, maybe your backyard or half of the backyard or portions of it, river rock some of the flower beds, and still do grass in the front, plants in the front, and take half of your yard down into non-watering sections. Synthetic turf doesn't need water. River rock doesn't really need water. So you got 10, 12 zones on your system. Let's run 4 or 5 and limit the other ones to not even running and still have a nice, beautiful, green, useful yard for your kids, your dogs, your families. So we're running some promotions and specials on synthetic turf and putting greens for the next 2 or 3 months, as well as landscape lighting. You put in these beautiful outdoor kitchens, patios, putting greens. Gets dark at 6:30, can't see anything. Nope, we can light it up. You can play all night long.
I like that. Cool.
Paul, and firsthand, I do have to say, I didn't know you before I did it, but I did put in artificial turf in my backyard. Day 1, my kids and the whole family were outside playing for like 6 hours straight, nonstop.
It's a change. I mean, it's not
Worth
a cheap.
every penny.
It's not a cheap investment on your property, but you never have to water again. You never have to mow, do fertilizer treatments or anything like that. You can easily blow off the debris and leaves, anything you have on it. There are different turfs that are great for pets and dogs that emit the urine and everything for the dogs. There's no stains, no residue, no smells. It's a great thing to put in your yard. And man, it's it's definitely an investment, and it's a little pricey up front. But like I said, down the road, no maintenance really.
That's awesome.
I
And
think
how can we
so.
get a hold of you, Paul?
You can reach me at Live Oak Studio on the web. Our website is loslandscapers.com. So loslandscapers.com. You can also reach me at my personal cell phone number, 512-483-1787. Or you can reach me at paul@loslandscapers.com.
Phenomenal. Thank you, Paul.
And we cover Dripping Springs to Georgetown, Marble Falls to Manor. We're all over the place. Give us a call. We'd love to come out and give you a free consult, see what we can do to create your oasis of a backyard.
I also did my backyard in artificial turf.
Okay. How you like it?
I really like it. Easy and no maintenance at all. The dog loves it. The kids love it. So it's pretty good. I think it is an investment that it could potentially be. It makes life easy. It is expensive.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, and that's kind of where we're trying to educate clients and talk to customers about it. I'm not saying let's turf your whole yard, front yard to backyard kind of thing, get rid of your grass. People like the feel of fresh cut grass on their feet and everything else, and as well as I do, and my wife does, and I get it. But part of it, and like I've got it in my backyard at my place, and it's because the dogs used to go out there, and I've got 4 dogs. They tear up the grass, running around, playing, and doing everything with themselves, and they, as dogs do. And next thing you know, on a day like today, when it's kind of cold and wet and snowy and rainy, or even in the summer when it's hot and wet, my dogs all come in with wet, muddy feet. Not again. Doesn't happen. They get out there and wrestle on that turf, and it's put in properly. It doesn't come up. It's not rising. They're not tearing it up. One of my dogs even scratches at it and doesn't do anything to it. But it's beautiful looking. It's green.
How does it perform in this kind of weather, like 18 degrees outside?
Doesn't make a difference whether it's 18 degrees or 118 degrees. It's
Really?
still the same turf.
Yep.
It's going to act like normal grass essentially when it's cold. Right now, probably a little harder, a little crunchy because it does have the ice and the snow on it, and it hardens up because it is essentially a plastic synthetic product that the grass is. And it can get a little hot in the summertime when it's 118.
Yep.
But tell me what doesn't get hot in Texas when it's 118 degrees.
The pool?
The pool water's hot, your concrete's hot, your grass is hot, everything's hot.
My
It's
freezer's hot.
You can have, and then in that case, if it's too hot, you get a hose and then just like water a little bit.
So one thing we do with yards, so think about it. We come into a yard, 90% of our customers already have a established or now torn out yard, but they have an irrigation system. We'll leave the irrigation system in place, maybe on the corners. They put these little metal grommets around it so your heads can pop up through the turf. You can still turn the irrigation system on a hot day and cool that area down before you go to use it.
Yeah.
That's a very nice feature to have, very nice thing to do.
Man adapting to the, right.
Yeah, no, that's next level.
No, and to that point, I know that first day that we had it put in, we were out there playing. I had my whole family, my dad, my mom came over, and we were just laying out there. I mean, my daughter was doing cartwheels. We're just playing tag, just having a great time. And my dad looked at me and goes, "I don't care how much it costs you, but it's worth every penny."
Yeah, and it's just like a lawn, man. It's universal. It's a lawn. You can do nothing with it and just have it. You can put cornhole boards on it, washerboards on it. You can play. The kids can play and ride their little tricycles around on it and stuff. You can put trampolines on it. You can do whatever you want to it. Like I mentioned, we got grommets that you put around it for your irrigation. We've had a few of them that we put all the turf down, and we'll cut out a 4-foot diameter circle in the middle of it or in the corner somewhere and plant a tree. And then we'll put metal edging around that to contain the grass and have a tree ring. So it's not like it's just a blank place of turf, and you can't do anything with it. You can cut parts of it out, make flower beds, and do things with it, and make it very beautiful.
And what are the long-term effects of all these microplastics?
Most of our product that we have from the manufacturers has a 10 to 20-year warranty from the manufacturer. The installation that we do has a 1-year installation on any defects coming up, staples not working, that kind of stuff. But the manufacturer depending upon which product you go with, 10 to 20 years on no fade, no tearing, no ripping, no problems. If there's any problem, us as a contractor will come back out, document it, get with the distributor, and usually 8 times out of 10, zero cost to the customer, come back and put new turf in.
Okay.
That's exactly why I went with it too, is that simple fact of mind. If it ever comes up or breaks, it's like, done. Call them.
Fix it.
Get it fixed. Yep.
And for some reason that it's not warranted, it's not fixable, it's 100% replaceable.
Right.
You
Okay.
can rip it out and put another one in that maybe has a better warranty or a better product or a different product. It's not like that one goes bad, you can't do it again. You can put it right back in.
So y'all have a deal going on this right now. Have you seen like an uptick in the market where it's becoming more and more popular? It's like a high demand item.
I wouldn't say it's a high demand, but we're seeing probably a 40 to 50% more ask for quotes on synthetic turf due to the water rationing. Also due to a lot of these newer neighborhoods that are being built, they're built right on top of each other.
Yeah.
So you go down between the homes and you've got a 5, 8, 10-foot space, and the 2-story houses shade out the area, and the grass that the home builder puts in there dies within 6 months.
Yep.
A lot of people used to put river rock and pathway trails down the side to get from the front yard to the backyard. Now people are having us come in there and put in synthetic turf down the side of the houses instead of rock, because they don't want the rock because it's hard to walk on. It gets hot. They don't like the look of it. They want green. They want softer. The synthetic turf looks softer and more appealing than hard rock. So we're getting a lot of that on these neighborhoods. So I think some of the jobs we're doing aren't very big. We're in and out in a day, 2 days. To do it, but down the side of the house, and then it turns into, oh, that looks really cool. Why don't we go ahead and extend it throughout the backyard while you're here? Bingo, let's go.
Long term, could you see new construction shifting into putting that in from the get-go?
Oh, I can see it easily. I mean, I don't know when the last time anybody's been to a Costco, but next time you go, pay attention to the parking lot. If you haven't seen it, all of their parking lots are synthetic turf and river rock borders.
Okay.
Every one of them. So what did Costco do? We don't want to have a maintenance contract. We're putting in synthetic turf in our parking lots. Our property always looks nice and prim and proper and beautiful 12 months out of the year.
True.
And we don't have to worry about irrigation bills, busted water sprinkler heads because someone drove over with their car. I think in the commercial world, which we do small commercial stuff, we don't do Costco's and malls and stuff. We do more doctor offices and family-oriented stuff. But I drive around town. We see it all over the place. I just think in the next 4 to 5 years, you're going to see a lot more of that stuff out and about.
You know, and that was the one interesting thing when I first came out here from California. Obviously, California is always under water restrictions. I remember I'd have to take a shower as a kid. I'd have to take a shower with a bucket under me to catch the rainwater. Then we would use that, or shower water, and we'd use that shower water to water any plants that we had in the front yard. Like that's how. And that was, for 20 plus years that I grew.
Well, a lot of our customers, Californians moving out here, a lot of our customers are Californians moving here, and that's what they're used to. So, yeah, we're ripping out their backyards, putting in these turf, doing a lot of putting greens. These guys play golf. They want putting greens. Another big one that we've been getting calls on, and I'm in a league, and I play quite a bit, but I'm no professional by any means, but cornhole, man. These people, we've had clients having us give them bids putting in cornhole turf areas for their kids so they can put cornhole boards on the turf and play cornhole, because the kids are putting cornhole boards on the grass and killing the grass because they never move the cornhole boards, and it kills the grass underneath.
Yep.
So any excuse these people are using to put in turf, I don't care what your excuse is, man. Let us know. We'll install it for you.
I like it.
I love it. And there's many different varieties, colors, thicknesses. Putting greens are real thin. We got some other grasses that are thicker, kind of like St. Augustine, give you a little bit more cushion. There's so many different.
You got softer Bermuda types too.
Right, there's softer types. Some of these customers, we tell them they're synthetic turf, and the first thing in their mind is putt-putt from 25 years ago. Just real thin, hard, pan-based grass. No, that's not what we're doing. This stuff's really nice and cushiony, and it's good.
So this stuff's come a long way. There's a stigma, but it's a much better product than it used to be.
A long way. If I was to send you to our supply house to take a look at the different options in turf, you're going to walk in and go, holy smokes. There's 40 different varieties you can pick from.
Yep.
That's cool.
So
I like
that. This is more like a home improvement, kind of thing, right? Putting like a turf and a better like a better fencing or design fencing. That is, it's home improvements, right? That you end up putting in the house.
And some of these neighborhoods, like I just went out yesterday and did a consult with a customer in Granite Shoals, the other side of Mobile Falls. Their city's giving them kickbacks for turf and river rock areas because it's a non-watering space in your property.
Yeah.
So the city itself is giving the homeowners, and I think we're doing a 1,200 square foot area, and she's only getting like $500 back. But hey, that's money. That's free money
Yeah.
that the city's giving the homeowner back for a thank you for beautifying your yard while eliminating uses of water.
And guys, one more point. It's real estate. Before that, probably, you see, this the most expensive thing in our lives. You know, like when you realize that for 6 hours your family was spending there, you say, hey, this land was really worth it. Now I have more land. All of a sudden you perceive that you have more land. And I think that's something to sell.
Well, and it's also usable space 24/7, 365 days of the year. That's the biggest deal to it.
And Paul, I had a backyard like what you were describing before. My dog would go out there, come in muddy. Shit, there was one day I went out there with the kids and we all stepped on like thorns, and I was like, "What the heck?" Like, it's not enjoyable. It
Right.
wasn't enjoyable. And the kids are like, "I want to go outside and play." You go out to the backyard. I just cut the grass, and we're all stepping on thorns or little things. And it's like,
And when it's installed properly, and what I mean by that is, you got your 6 to 8 inches of drain base underneath it, which is granite, gravel, and material up underneath it. You can have a good inch or two rain. 30 minutes later, that turf is dry and usable for you to go out. Now,
Yep.
It might be a little squishier than it was yesterday, but it's not going to move and pit and sink on you. It's a solid surface, but it drains really well when it's installed properly. And it's, like I said, it's just a usable space to where you got grass and it rains 2 inches. You can't use that till tomorrow or the next day.
I want to shift a little bit into like home services, because what we do, for example, we do flooring, and then that's home improvement as well, right? Home services is more like cleaning, fixing things, like there's a pergola.
Pest control.
Yeah, pest control. So there's a pergola that needs fixing.
Now you're talking about home, like maids and window cleaners and pest controls.
Yeah, maintenance in general.
Right.
And we all use it. And I know in the trades, because I just would like to mention this, because in the trades we see a lot of, I paid a contractor and then the guy disappeared, or I gave 50% down and it disappeared. Normally in that happens quite a lot, in home improvements, right? So you're gonna do a renovation or something like that. When it comes down to home services, always the work is performed before any payment occurs, right? I don't know, because I don't.
No, correct. So like in our B&I group, we got a really good friend of mine. I've known him for 20 years. Prescription Pests, their pest control company. Mary Beth, if you're watching, you're welcome for the little plug in there.
Free of charge.
But Mary Beth takes care of my property. They take care of some of my customers. They will come out to your house. They'll do whatever kind of pest control it is that you need. I'm talking skunks, rodents, rats, insects, fleas, ticks, mosquitoes, whatever it is. They do 100% of the work, and they do not even invoice you the moment that they're there. The technician leaves the property. You get an invoice later in that day from their office for the payment. That's a very nice feeling that they're 100% trusting in you as a customer, that you're going to pay them for what they do. They don't ask for any money up front, and they come out and they take care of you 100%.
And I feel like that. It's like home services. It's very hourly oriented kind of business, and it's a huge business in here in the U.S. Right?
Right.
Let's say a plumber that. Of course. If pipes freeze up and then explode or something like that, and then that maybe not be the case. But then if you need, like, Conrad the other day needed water softener, right?
So
checked out.
So the water softener at my rental property has been acting funny, making weird noises, and I'll be honest, I never had a water softener growing up in California, and all my other family lived in Washington and Oregon, where, I mean, shit, you would wash your hands and you would sit there and keep washing your hands because it would still feel like you would have soap on it. Like, it's just, the water is super, super soft. And you come out here and you're like, what the hell? Like, why is everything rust looking and
Dry.
it's just dry? Yeah, it's really, really hard water out here.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, I've watched videos and I'm just like, I do not, for whatever reason, my brain just goes dumb when it comes. I just don't understand it. I'm like, I do not know how to operate this thing. I'm pushing buttons, recharging it. Anyways, come to find out, my water softener is just one of, he described it as like a Bic lighter. You put it in, you use it for a couple years, it shits the bed, you take it out and you put a new one in.
All right.
So that's what the guy came out and
So
What you did.
that's a good example there and then. So let's get into that a tiny little bit. So, and that is probably a home improvement store, like those box stores, right? That you bought it. So it's
correct.
a pretty much easy to install, not expensive to install because you can get anybody to do the install maybe. And
Yeah, so it really depends. And obviously, because I'm using this property as a rental, the way that I figured it out, the water filter or the water softener is good for 5 to 8 years.
okay,
For $500 is what you can buy online. You can obviously buy better ones for like $3,000 or $4,000 to really filter, but then you still have to hire someone to come out and maintenance and recharge the filter and everything on it. So way I looked at it is $500
plus install.
but I mean,
You have to
luckily
install regardless.
yeah, but luckily it's just like a couple pipes, and I mean, I can do that. I know my dad said that he can do it. It's not
And
that
it's
big.
like you said, there's the $500 ones like you use, which are perfectly fine.
Right.
And
It's
then
a
you can
DIY
go and
thing.
Then you can go, yeah. Then you can go do the $3,000, $4,000, $5,000 units. It's just a matter of what level you want and what you want to spend and what you want to do with it.
Exactly. And the way I calculate it is, listen, if I end up renting this property for 15 years, that's $1,500. 5 years that I just, keep replacing this water softener,
You bet.
there we go for 15 years. Or I could spend
I'm
$3,000.
gonna say versus my house, so I live there. I don't rent it. I'm on a well.
Right.
We have very bad calcium buildup on all of our shower heads, sinks, faucets, all that. So we hired a company to come out and put in the reverse osmosis water filtration system that we have in our house, and it's not even run on. There's no power. It doesn't even take power to run it. It runs off the pressure of the water coming out of the well. And then we've got the reverse osmosis under the sink, so we have water coming out the little spigot they install.
Yeah,
It's just like
separate.
bottled water, so it eliminates all the plastic bottles and bottled water. Yeah, I mean, I don't remember what we paid for it. I've had it for 3 or 4 years. It was $4,000 or $5,000, and the only maintenance on that one is once a year. I've got to replace 4 filters to the cost of about $300.
Right.
And then there's a filter on the system that you basically take apart, take it out, clean it out with a water hose, and put it back together.
Right.
That's worth it though, because that anytime you want, you got clean drinking water right out of
Well, you
that
got
spigot.
clean drinking water, and it completely got rid of all the calcium buildup on all of my
Throughout the whole
faucets,
property?
fixtures. Oh, if it feeds the whole it feeds my whole house. Yeah. So the downside to water filtration systems that I have, I'm not sure about yours, is you have to add all the salt to it.
Right.
Yeah.
Salt will kill your plants. So
Yes.
do not water your plants or your lawn with the water that the water filtration system is hooked up to.
Right.
So you might want to have a secondary hose bib somewhere that's previous to your water filter, so you can still
Sure,
water your
yeah.
plants and that. You can wash your car and do all that, but don't water your turf.
Right.
Unless you put in synthetic turf, then it doesn't really
Yeah,
matter what water you use.
your turf's good, isn't it?
Goes back to synthetic.
But you know what, Paul, that is, and that's the point I was trying to make, is as far as like an investment purpose, like it makes sense for $500, or 50.
You bet it. You bet.
My home now, that's a different story. I have a really good water softener at home, but I mean for an
I mean, you can
investment
go
purpose,
back and you can go back into segue of us landscaping. So one of the things we do is outdoor kitchens, and one of the products that's usually 99% of the time in an outdoor kitchen is an outdoor refrigerator.
Yeah.
All right. So
okay.
a good outdoor rated insulated refrigerator is going to average you about $2,000 to $3,000 for a good refrigerator that has a manufacturer 8 to 10 year warranty on it. as the contractor selling you this product and putting everything in, I'm still a big promoter of buy the non-outdoor rated refrigerator for outside that costs you $600. And in 2 years, when it shits the bed, you buy another $600 refrigerator. There's 5 of those refrigerators that you get every 2 years. So there's your 10 years. You got the same thing.
Get closer to the mic, please.
It's just a matter of get closer. If I get any closer, I'm going to be eating it.
No, it's just when you're speaking that way, and then it doesn't pick up. So just turn it.
Maybe I just need to dance with this thing. You know?
That's it.
There we go. You're going to have me singing like Michael Jackson before I'm done,
I knew
man.
you could
Come on.
two-step.
Hey, 2-step, 3-step, you name it. Let's go, baby. Come on. I didn't sit in this high chair for nothing.
Yeah, you've been getting taller as the episode progresses.
Yeah, it's this wonderful cigar that I'm smoking. Just makes me
It's lifting
taller
you
and
up.
higher.
It's the magic of Pablo. Nobody understands it.
Not even myself.
But yeah, that's my example of home services that I've had just recently. Anybody else have any home services done?
I got 2 that have been hit on the last few weeks pretty heavy in our B&I group. One of them from an electrician and one of them from me, just reminding people. Space heaters. All this cold going on, man. Check your electric connections. Make sure things are plugged in right. Make sure your space heaters are clear of burnable products and stuff. Don't catch things on fire. And then another one, chimney sweeps. If you got a fireplace, a lot of these companies, man, they're going to charge you $100 or less to come out to your house, inspect your chimney, sweep it and clean it, make sure it's free of debris, no bird's nest, no nothing in it, so your fire burns properly.
$100 or less, really?
Yes, I've got some numbers on my phone that I give to clients. $95, $85, depends on where you're at, pretty much in the whole Williamson, Travis kind of area. You start getting out into the hill country, Marble Falls and stuff, they might charge a little bit more for the trip. But Round Rock, Cedar Park, Leander, Liberty Hill, Austin, all around here, they're $80 to $100 to come out and chimney sweep your chimney and clean it out for you so it's free of debris. And some people kind of go, well, why do I need that? I burn my fire and it's nice and clean. It worked just fine last year. Well, in Texas, you burn a fireplace maybe 3 months out of the year. You got 9 months for birds and animals and critters to create nest up in those things.
What about the other thing that's really important to do is the dryer. That
Your
exhaust,
dryer vents.
their dryer vents, that's also very important to
Very,
clean
very
it
important.
up. I gotta do mine.
The easiest way to do that too is you can do one of the things I do is the feather dusters you use for your house. They're flexible.
Yeah.
Run it up the pipe and pull it back out. It cleans that thing out really nice from the outside. Take your little vent cover off outside your house, run it up through. The feathers on the feather duster, grab the stuff and pull it right back out.
I took my vent cover off.
Did you put it back on?
No.
You might want to do that.
I leave it on. Well, I run my dryer every single day.
Yeah?
I got some dirty ass people in my house, but
well, you might have a rat or two in your dryer with your clothes.
Well, they're in for an adventure. I tell you what.
They're in for a tumble, aren't they?
Yeah, I
But
don't
I tell
remember
you
that
what.
scene.
I tell you what. My artificial grass on that side of the house smells phenomenal. It smells phenomenal because that just gets dumped right there.
Mine's on the outside of the house, out by my outdoor kitchen, and one of my dogs goes over and rubs on it.
Yeah, it does.
Loves the feel of that hot air coming out.
Oh
of there.
hell yeah!
Matter of fact, today I
Especially
had
right
them out
now.
running around, and I looked at 2 of my dogs were sitting over there. It's like, oh, hot air because it's like 14 degrees outside. And yes, I do laundry. As a man. No, not everything goes in the dryer either, you ladies.
What about you, George?
I was just selecting here something. Like when we bought a house, was the first house, the vision I had in a different country, right? So we have to hedge. I don't know contacts. I don't know many network. So what we did, we hired a preventive maintenance called Prefix. So every quarter they go there, and everything you mentioned, all the lists, they go there, and you pay like $46 a month, and
Okay.
it's $120 per visit, right? So if it's every quarter, and then they do everything. They replace all the filters. They check, the vents you mentioned. They do everything. And another benefit is that they give you 30 to 50% discounts for like for the hour you're paying. So it kind of it might be an expensive service, but you get 30 or 50%, or if it's cheap, you hell a little bit more. So for us, it's a great way for us to keep it not worry. Like we know they just came today for the air conditioning. It's like a revisit, so it's not charged. So for us, pay $46 and peace of mind.
I was going to
it's
say,
fantastic.
you just said it might be expensive, and that's not expensive at all for a worry-free mind that all your filters are being changed out.
Yeah.
Because that
Fridge.
what
and
what'd you say it is? $46 a month. So let's just call it $50, and then you're paying $120 per quarter for service. You add all that up, that's probably less expensive than what it would cost if you didn't change it and it caused a problem and you had to get it repaired.
Or if you're bringing people out to individually address things, it's going to definitely be more than 46 a month.
Because they always brag about this one neighborhood home manager. So it's always the same guy. So he knows your house the whole time. Like we know this guy for 5 years. Like he knows everything that is in the house. And then he even says, "Okay, George, are you sure that you don't have to do that?" So he tells me this. So it's I like this personal touch.
We are actually a vendor of a company that is similar to that one. It might be that one. I don't know because I forgot the name. I had a one-to-one with him in here, and it was like, man, it sounds good. Let's sign up because, for example, let's say he's doing the visits, right? And then he sees something that, hey, I think your carpet needs addressed or your flooring needs addressed because it had this leak and whatnot. So they can get a discount. So we actually provide the service with a discount because they have this deal with the homeowners. For us, it's worth it because we are selling at a little discount, but we get repeat business and we are not having to go out to do quotes because they do all the measurements, they do all the work for us, and all we got to do, if it needs flooring replaced, and then they have to go to selection process. But if not, it's just a matter of like sending somebody to replace some boards or something.
I was going to say,
like
let's roll that into Ballerini Floors. So is there maintenance that y'all suggest to customers on what y'all install for upkeep of floors other than your typical weekly sweeping and mopping and that kind of stuff? I mean, is there maintenance that y'all need for floors to sustain their nature?
Something that I think that gets overlooked by many people is really annually, you really should do like a deep carpet shampooing. And a lot of manufacturers for carpet will have that in their warranty. Annually, you're supposed to do that. A lot of people don't do that. Carpet, naturally, over time, you stretch it out, you put it on tack strip. So over time, it's coming undone. So there's regular maintenance with stretching it out. And it really just depends on the type of flooring. So some oil finishes need refreshing on a wood, or like a deck outside, you need to apply stuff. But the majority of modern products are pretty simple maintenance. That's the whole, and it's the whole selling point. It's like it's easy. So
now, do y'all do floor refinishing?
We do. If you step on it, we do it. But yes.
The flooring part, as Dylan's just mentioning, carpet once a year. All the flooring may not be really that necessary, but for some reason, if you do get the floor very dirty, it's important to know the finish of the floor that you have, right? If it is, as Dylan's mentioned, if it is an oil finish, you cannot use your traditional Bona. You have to use a Walker that we have over here, or you can buy any place because it's for oil-based floors. And if it is a hard surface, and then you can use your conventional that you go on Walmart and any store and buy. Or we also have in here like a really good product that, for example, there was this friend of mine. He got together with this lady. They didn't get married, but they're living together, and he.
Juicy.
Juicy.
It's life in America. They're grown-ups. They have
what
kids.
What are they using those floors for, my friend?
They have kids from previous relationships. So basically, he was like, Hilton, nothing cleans my floor. And then I grabbed one of the things that we have, like, try this. So he comes back to me and he's like, this is just magic. This thing works. And then my neighbor here at the time, our conditioning company, and then she was like, nothing cleaned my floors. Like, try this one. And then she tries, like, wow, unbelievable, this thing. It's like, yeah.
Is it the Mr. Clean Magic Eraser?
It's not that one. It's not that one, but
you said it's like magic.
But it's Waka. It's a Waka product.
It's like a German, Denmark or German,
Denmark.
Yep.
Yeah.
Specifically for oil finished floors for the most part. You got like a soap and then a refresher. It's just real important because if you have an oil finished floor and then you put something on that's not like an oil refresher or soap, you're eating away at that finish.
Oh, easily.
Taking the life out of the floor.
But that's why a lot of people, the most common matte look finish is an aluminum oxide finish on like a hardwood floor. Super easy maintenance. Bona, any generic product you buy at the store, you can clean it with. So it's really just oil finishes that you need to be a little bit more weary of. But tile, vinyl plank, laminate, any generic hardwood LVT.
Bona floor cleaner does well.
It's a great product. I would recommend that for anything except for an oil floor.
We actually at home we use Bona because this one that we have in here for sale, it costs more an hour cost than Bona costs. So at home I just use Bona because I don't really need anything heavy duty to clean. And my floors at home is not oil finish, so it's a solid wood floor, but it has a hard finish on it. So I just use Bona because this one is just like, it really gets dirty for some reason, and then I have this one that I can use, but it costs more money.
Right.
So some of the good stuff will cost more, but it's only like extreme cases. When somebody does not clean the floor like for 5 years, and then that thing will clean it really well.
Those people exist? What?
We see it a lot actually. So
Yeah.
my favorite thing is we go to measure a house and people go, "Oh, I'm so sorry. Please excuse the mess." And it's a nice house. There's nothing wrong with it. And you're like, look, I see nightmare situations on a weekly basis. There's nothing wrong with it. It's okay to have a little bit of clothes on the floor or something. We've been in houses where like the dogs have completely scratched the finish off. There's urine spots everywhere. Like there's just
Minus the urine. Have you been in my house or what?
Now you know who to call. Hey, I have a question for you guys. What is a very odd home service that we don't think about, but that you've experienced in the past that has come up that you're like, you know what, this is something that does come up and you need to take care of?
I got one for you, and we're actually fixing to start it with one of my employees and offer this as a side gig, I guess you can say. We might roll it into Live Oak Studio. We're going to see how we do this. Pooper scoopers.
Oh, yeah, I've seen a lot of trucks.
I cannot believe the amount of people in this world that own dogs that do not want to take the time to clean up after their own dogs. So we are here for your services. Back to Live Oak Studios. Give me a call. We can take care of it. But that is a service that is not wanted to do, but it's out there.
And you know what's so funny about that, Paul, is I have seen 5 different neighbors in my neighborhood, and I forget the name of the company, but it's like General Poop or something like that. And it's like, but I'm not even joking.
I see trucks.
A legitimate guy driving around, going into the people's backyards, picking it up and coming out.
They're out there.
Unbelievable.
So something else that we can install for you, and they're out there. We've installed a few over the years. It looks like a septic tank lid, and you pick up your own poop, but you press the pedal and open the lid and put the poop into that system and put the chemicals in there once a month, and it disintegrates it and filtrates it into the soils of your lawn.
Wow.
That's interesting.
Wow.
It's actually a very unique system, and it works great. You just put it in the backyard. It's like a septic. I mean, it's 2 feet round. It's green, so it blends in with the grass, or put it in the flower bed, whatever it is. And it's
Why is Dylan laughing?
That's the chore every month. You're like, I'm not looking forward to this today. I gotta go dump my shit in this fucking hole.
But it's got to be done.
But
and
it has to be done.
But if you go back into it, and this comes from some history of me back in the day, and I'm talking 20 plus years ago, I used to be a organic fertilizer salesman. And what is organic fertilizer? That was actually a job I had when people asked me what do I do for a living. I said, man, I sell shit. And they're like, no, what do you do? Dude, I sell shit. I'm selling organic fertilizer. It's fish emulsions. It's different kinds of manure. We sold manure, fertilizers. It's all out there. I mean, chicken shit is one of the best fertilizers you
Yeah,
can put in your lawn and your garden for fertilizing things.
Yeah.
It's a necessary business. It just
And if you run out of water in a house, you have that system. You just go and have your
I mean,
shit
there's
done in
a-
there.
Yeah, really.
There's a septic system company out in my neck of the woods. I guess they come down here. I don't know, but on the side of their truck. We're number one and a number two business.
I like
Yeah,
that.
I've
that's
seen
just-
that. I've seen that.
That's what it's. Somebody's got to do it, and it's nothing I want to do, man.
I always see those trucks for different companies that do like the poop cleaning up
Yep.
stuff, but they're like, you poop, we scoop, you know?
You poop, we scoop.
Yeah.
But I was like, you got to come up with something catchy that's similar for live oats to do. Maybe like, we heard your turds.
Shit and get.
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know. We're gonna figure it out. But the service is there. You need it done? Give me a call. We'll take care of you.
What about you, George? You seem like you have an interesting home service.
I was just thinking it's all about convenience, right? So all the things like if you don't do some services that I can do it, I can lawn my own backyard and front yard. Like it's gonna take
But
me.
are
what-
you going to do it? It's the question.
Exactly. No. Are you going to do it on a regular basis for 50 weeks or 45, 46 weeks?
You don't
You
need to
know-
mow if you got turf.
Yeah, right. Of course. But do you know what I'm saying? Like, it's all about how much it costs versus, the kind of service you
Well,
are willing to do it.
I think that, yes, comfortability, like, do I feel comfortable doing this? I feel like I'm capable of doing this, or is this something I
Well,
need to hire someone to do?
It all rolls back into what's your time worth, and is it worth my time to do that, or pay somebody else to do it and do something different?
So, and the reason that I wanted to bring up this thing because at the same house, my rental house, the garage door spring broke. And that is a job I refuse absolutely because it scares the living shit out of me of replacing that spring, torquing it down with the torque wrench and installing it. So I had to hire someone go out there and do it. 5 minutes. They took out the old system, put a new one in.
Yeah, because they've got the right tools and knew what they were doing.
Exactly.
Doesn't
exactly.
matter if it's 2 hours. You see, I always calculate how difficult it will be for me to do that. And do I have the skills? How long will it take me?
Something
That's-
tells me you try
yeah.
to replace a spring on a garage door, you screw up the rest of the door putting in the
not
spring.
really. I learned from the others. No, I learned from the others, my friend.
Because I probably would.
Yeah.
If that thing snap, it kills
the
you.
rest of the door doesn't
Yes.
work anymore, but this
No,
spring
thank
is
you.
new.
Man, there are layers and layers of protection. So you're looking for things. Man, there are so many things that we do that we overprotect ourselves that it's hard to point out one, right? But I would say that you see prefix, we're like struggling with the pests everywhere. And then like, what the hell? It's like $30, I think $30 a month. These guys go there every month. Man, it changed our lives. We thought we could control, but it's everywhere. It's a big, it's a big backyard. You know what I'm saying? Like it's worth it. It's always worth it. The preventive maintenance.
Right.
That's what I would say.
And to go back to your preventive maintenance and maybe a job that you're talking about that you don't want to do or don't think about doing. And I actually have a great subcontractor that does this for clients of mine and everything else is pressure washing.
Yeah.
A
Yep.
lot of homes around here are brick, stone, masonry. You got your concrete driveways, stone driveways, sidewalks. These pressure washing companies for minimal cost. I mean, like we just did a 5,000 square foot house and it was under $1,000 to come out and pressure wash that 5-6-year-old stone, get the grime, get the dirt, the bugs and the cobwebs and all that kind of stuff off of it, these 2-story houses. And it's almost like you just put new stone on the house.
Yep.
It's nice and clean. And most of your homeowners aren't going to take the time to do all that because,
How
these
often
companies,
do people need to do that?
I mean, that's your preference. What do you want your house to look like? Are you okay with it having a couple watermarks coming down or whatever it would be? But we got some regular customers that have her. It's a lady-owned business, and her and her employees that come out once a year and pressure wash these houses
Annually.
I have other customers do it every 2 or 3 years. This is personal preference, but it was my recommendation once a year.
Gentlemen,
Sure.
thank you very much. This was a very interesting topic, and hopefully it was beneficial to the viewers out there.
And one last little maintenance I'll throw in, and it has to do with some of the cold weather we're having. Irrigation.
Yes.
Man, you need an irrigation check on your system. You don't know if it's working right. You got a leak. You got something going on. $85 for 15 zones or less will come out, run through your system, make sure that everything's working properly, and then if there is an issue, we'll get you a written quote within 24 hours of what's going on to fix that repair. But once you get it all up to par and it's 100%, and then you pay for a 6-month check for $85 every 6 months for someone to come out and run through your whole system, make sure it works proper and your heads are spraying the right way, makes a big difference.
No, and you're absolutely right, Paul. No, as always, thank you for the wealth of wisdom and everything that you do.
Yeah,
and
thank you.
I try.
Gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for watching the Puff Drink Talk podcast. Please like.
Maybe even subscribe.
And leave us a comment.
And share.
And I want to thank all these gentlemen for inviting me back over here. I'm not a weekly regular, and it's a pleasure, and enjoy the company when I'm here.
Thanks, Paul.
You never know what I might bring into this little building here.
But you're family.
Yeah.
You're family at this point,
Oh,
Paul.
man.
Yeah.
It's awesome.
Even wearing the Gig'em shirt.
You're welcome always.
Don't forget
I
to
deal
check
with
out
it.
the cigar review next Monday. Paul, as always, thank you for joining us. Have a great night, everyone.
Good night.